Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Chantel. In today's video, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but 9 days from today, I'm getting a boob job! I can't believe this is happening. Like, things like this don't happen to girls like me. I'm so excited. I don't even have words to explain. Excuse how I look, by the way. It's 5:56 a.m. and I'm heading to work. I'm going to be vlogging this entire experience. I'm going to be starting off sitting down and just talking to you guys about my consultation, the size I'm getting, and just basically all the details. Really look forward to sitting down with you guys and talking about this. By the way, that's the reason I filmed this intro in my car, because I wanted to be able to scream at the top of my lungs when I said, I'm getting a boob job! I've paid my dues to the itty bitty titty gritty, okay? Bye! Okay guys, it's time for all the details that you came here to hear. Before I start this portion of the video, I just want to say that I was originally planning on making this one super long video with a boob job vlog at the end of it. However, there is so much information in this part, and I can only imagine how long the vlog itself is going to be since I'll be documenting all 7 days. So I'm going to be doing them in 2 separate videos. So subscribe to my channel so when I release that video, you'll be here to see it. I've written down every single thing that I want to talk to you about, so hopefully it all just comes together and flows nicely. I'm going to try to answer all the who, what, where, when, why, how questions and just go into as much detail as I can. So starting with why, why not? I've just always wanted boobs, and the Victoria's Secret bombshell triple push-up, not the double, the triple push-up, has had me in a chokehold for over a decade, and I'm just finally ready to be free from those shackles. I'm doing this for me. I'm older, I have my own money, I can make my own decisions, and this is what I want to do. If I'm looking down at my phone a lot, it's because all my notes are in here. So I've been looking into this surgery for years, but I didn't get serious about it until just under a year ago, and then I booked my first consultation in June 2023. And the clinic that I went to, it was really modern, it was beautiful. He's a 5-star doctor, top rated. That is where I really learned a lot about the surgery, because of course I did my own research, but they taught me different things like high profile and moderate profile and all that actually means, the difference between silicone and saline and the gummy bear and blah blah blah. They told me that it's not necessary to switch the implant after 10 years as long as it's healthy and in good shape. They say a lot of people keep it for much longer. That was interesting to hear because I thought it was kind of like 10 years, you're done, switch over. But he said in these modern times, that's not something that you have to do. So that was really informative. I didn't really feel like that connection with the office. Like, it didn't feel like this is the place, you know? And this is gonna sound ridiculous, but the location was one of the biggest factors of why I didn't go with them. The clinic is in Toronto, and it's in a very specific part of Toronto. You've probably seen a lot of memes or videos about the construction on Eglinton. It's right in that area. I remember leaving and going home that day, and it took me about 2 hours to get home. And I was just like, I'm never coming back here. And I paid $200 for that consultation. And when you pay for a consultation, it ends up going towards your surgery. So you don't get that money back if you don't go with the doctor. The quote that they gave me was roughly about $11,000. So that was in June. And then 5 months later, I ended up booking another consultation at a different clinic. And this is the one that I ended up going with. So it's the Toronto Cosmetic Surgery Institute. Oh my gosh, do I not know the name of that? That's not even funny. It's a very reputable clinic, and they are very transparent. They put all of their pricing on their website, and the doctor is very big on social media as well. He's a very well-known doctor, I would say. He is Dr. Jugenberg, also known as Dr. Six. It's inside of the Fairmont Royal York Hotel, which is a very prestige hotel, so you know, it's giving bougie. I'm not gonna lie, the fact that it's in a luxury hotel does add to the appeal of the clinic. It's not like I'm staying at the fancy hotel, but just being in there, it's like, it's nice, you know? Their office is definitely not as modern. It's like completely different than the first clinic I went to. The first clinic was very like clean cut, everything is white. This one, it's more, imagine what a rich person's house would look like in an English TV show. When I went into the room and I spoke with the nurse, she was just the most delightful, nice human being. Her name was Dr. Kim, and she just gave like motherly vibes, and she was just so kind, and she was talking to me about her daughter, and we had matching nails. She made everything so comfortable. And then there was another person in there, I think it was her assistant. So because I went to that first consultation, I already knew exactly what I wanted, but things actually changed when she spoke to me about some things. So what exactly happens when you walk into a consultation? They give you a hospital gown to put on, and then they leave the room while you take your top off and put the blue gown on. And then once they come back in, they have their assistant come in and take photos of your bosom. Because of course they have to document the before and after. For me, that was by far the most awkward part. So they just take the photos, you know, you put your arms out, the front, the side, everything. And then they take a measuring tape and they just have to measure everything. And they actually had the same recommendation of size as the first doctor did. The next thing they do is they give you a sports bra that's a little bit bigger than the size you would normally wear. And based on their calculations of the size that would be best for you, they take that and they put it inside of the sports bra so that you can see what that size would look like on. I don't remember the sizes I had in those photos because I was trying on different things. At the first consultation, the doctor was like very triggered by cup sizes. I get it, it's done in cc's, but I'm trying to explain to you in common language what I'm expecting. They also encourage you to show the doctor photos of what look you're trying to achieve. So I told them that I wanted a big C, and I feel like that's something that everybody says. I have watched maybe 30, 40, 50 of these consultation videos, and everyone always says they want a big C. And if I'm being completely honest and just real right now, I feel like that's almost like trying to make this a little bit more socially acceptable, because there are already so many opinions about doing something like this. And then when you say, oh, I just want to be a C, people are more okay with it. But if you say, I want it to be a D or double D, people kind of look at you sideways. And I feel like a lot of people who say they want to be a big C really deep down just want to be a D. Raise your hand if you really want to be a D. I said it, okay? Oh, I feel free. First doctor said he would absolutely not go bigger. This clinic, they are more comfortable with going bigger. But the fact that two doctors gave me the exact same number, that's kind of saying something. I'm just gonna read exactly what I wrote in the notes because it's kind of funny. I wrote, for consult 2, fell in love with the luxury of the office and the radiant energy of the head nurse. A bit awkward because I already knew what I wanted, so I didn't have any questions. I obviously didn't tell them, but I knew they were the ones I was going to go with. Okay, so I kind of just knew. It's just one of those things where you just know. Like, I just knew this is the clinic I'm going with. I don't need to do any more consultations. Again, I had to pay $200 for the consultation. So what size and profile did I end up going with? 345cc under the muscle silicone high profile implant. I was originally planning on going with a moderate profile, but at the second clinic, they did recommend high profile because I did say I do want to go a little bit bigger. And they said with moderate, it's wider. And they said with my width, wider would be uncomfortable because the boob would basically be touching my arm and like it would be uncomfortable. And with high profile, it's a more narrow implant, but there's more projection, so it gives the illusion of being bigger. So moderate is flat and wide, high profile is narrow and high. I also have a very big gap here because I don't have boobs, so I showed them at the first clinic. I showed him a very specific photo, and it was of a YouTuber, and she got breast implants and they looked, and I said to him, if this is what I'm gonna end up looking like, then I don't want this procedure. He didn't give me a clear answer. The second clinic told me that whatever gap or space you have here is the same gap you're gonna have after you do the surgery, and that you can put it closer. However, you risk breaking some wall that's there, and then you end up with the uniboob, which I'm sure we've all seen. Let's talk about payment. How can you pay for this procedure? So it's not like back in the day when you had to be super rich to get a boob job. Now there's financing. You can finance this with so many different companies. In Toronto, I know there's at least 3 that I can think of. When it comes to paying for the procedure itself, if you were planning on using a credit card, unfortunately, most clinics don't allow you to for some reason. You have to pay in cash. It's really shady. You have to pay in cash or by wire transfer. and I think e-transfer is an option as well, but you can't pay credit card. However, for the deposit part of it, you can. My deposit was $2,000, and of course the deposit as well as the consultation payment, those go towards your surgery cost. My clinic, if you want to see pricing, everything is listed on the website. Very transparent about that. It is really good for you to go to more than one consultation. I understand that you have to pay for them, but it's something that you have to invest in because you have to know what else is out there and what you like and what you don't like. I would say even if you paid your consultation fee and you don't want to waste money, don't let that get in the way of you settling. At my first one, that was very informative, and it's where I was able to ask so many questions and learn so many things. It's just they ended up not being the right one for me. One question that I had that I know a lot of people have the same question about is whether or not it affects breastfeeding in the future if I were to have children. The first doctor told me that no, it doesn't, but he said, however, there are many women who are unable to breastfeed regardless. And it was just kind of an answer that didn't sit well with me because it was like, yeah, obviously I know that, but I'm asking you something very specific. So at my second consultation, I asked the same question, does breast augmentation affect breastfeeding? And the nurse told me it doesn't usually, but if you get the incision around the nipple, then it could have an effect. That's not where I'm doing my incision. So in case you don't know, there are 3 different places you can do the incision. You can do it around the nipple, I don't know what it's called. You can do it under the fold, and you can do it under the armpit. I'm choosing to do it under the fold because that is the safest place to do it in case it needs to be removed or something needs to be altered, or there's just a lot of different reasons they explained at why that's the safest option. I just don't remember. I don't remember everything they told me, okay? So although I am super excited, I do have some fears, and that is natural. Today is February 2nd and my surgery is on February 7th. So exactly a week before is when I started feeling anxious. I went through a lot of different feelings, like, I know this isn't gonna change my life, so what is the purpose? I'm just doing it for me. I almost wish I was doing it for someone else because then it would make it feel like there's more of a reason. I even said to my sister, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna go through recovery, and then my same boring life is gonna continue where I'm going to work, coming home, going to sleep, going to work. It's a weird, like, you go through a lot of different feelings other than excitement when it comes down to it, but excitement is still like the number one emotion that I'm feeling. I did write down a list of my fears. I'm gonna share them with you guys. First on the list is healing time to get back to work. That's really sad that I even have to put that on the list, but let's be real. You can't just take off an unlimited amount of time for an optional cosmetic surgery. So I'm gonna have 8 days off work, and the clinic told me that should be more than enough time to get back. My worst fear is just being in pain and having to go to work. Number 2, the incision being too high up. I've seen a couple of videos where the fold wasn't an accurate representation of where the fold would be after the fact. And yeah, the doctors are supposed to know how to do it properly, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way, unfortunately. So my fear is that the incision is going to be too high up and it's going to be on the boob. And if that happens, I'm gonna lose my mind. Number 3, labored breathing. Asthma is something I've struggled with on and off my entire life. And one of the worst feelings in the world is not being able to take a deep breath. And one thing that a lot of people talk about is the fact that when you wake up, it feels like there's an elephant on your chest. I don't know how accurate that is, but not being able to breathe properly is one of my biggest fears. Everyone seems to get through it. I haven't seen anyone die from that feeling so far, so let's hope I'm not the first. Okay, number 4, not being able to wake up to pee in the night. It sounds stupid, but it's a very rational fear for me because before I fall asleep, I usually go to pee at least like 3 times. It's like maybe a mental thing, but not being able to just get up on my own, like sit up and go to the washroom, like that's terrifying because I can't fall asleep if I feel like my bladder is full. Number 5, nausea. Honestly, I feel like this should have been a lot higher up on the list because this might actually be my number 1 fear. I don't do well with nausea. Even sitting on a train, I can't sit with my back in the direction the train is moving. Like I have to be face forward. And my last and final fear is not going big enough. You know that sinking feeling in your stomach? Like I've been just sitting down thinking about it and had that sinking feeling like, what if it's not big enough? Like, what if I wake up and I look down and my chest is still flat? What if my clothes all still fit me the exact same? Not really knowing how I'm gonna look after. Just a couple things that I forgot to talk about. So I know there are different shapes like round and teardrop. Both doctors I went to do not offer teardrop because they said it could actually turn and the drop could be at the bottom and the tear could be at the top and the tears will be running down your face. Another thing they talked about is the gummy implant. They apparently don't even offer that here in Canada because it actually is known to contribute to breast cancer. Something about the textured implant being inside of your body could be harmful, so that's why they don't offer the gummy implant. I don't know if it's all of Canada or if it's Ontario, but it's not offered. The reason I chose saline instead of silicone, even though silicone is the most popular implant, is because with saline, what they do is they put the bag inside and then they actually fill it up. So they're putting a 320, oh, I didn't mention, this boob is bigger, so it's gonna be 300, this one's gonna be 345, big difference. But what they do is they put in a smaller bag, so like 320, and then they fill it up to 345 to prevent ripples in it, and then it's like firmer. If that implant ruptures with saline, everything inside of it just, it's liquid and it will just flush out of your body. It's not harmful. It doesn't affect you negatively. That's it, it's done. With silicone, if it is to rupture, it's kind of like gummy pieces that spread out throughout your body. The doctor has to then go in and they have to scrape out each individual piece of silicone that has spread throughout your body. And if they miss anything, it could create capsicomes around it, which are like little crunchy shells, and that can, I think, make you sick or something. Silicone is more natural feeling. Saline is healthier. So at the second clinic, I did my consultation and then I had to go back for a second consultation, and they just go over everything again and go into more details. So something both clinics had in common is that all your payments need to be made at least 3 weeks before your surgery date, whether you're paying out of pocket or with financing. The clinic that I chose, 2 weeks before surgery date, they send you an email just telling you all the things that you have to do. So I'm going to tell you what they said. They just tell you you have to stop blood thinners 2 weeks before, you have to stop taking Advil, you have to stop taking fish oil, vitamin E. You have to make sure that you have somebody coming to your appointment with you. The clinic that I ended up booking with, this is something that is non-negotiable for them. You cannot be alone. And if you show up alone, either you cannot do your surgery or you have to pay for the service of one of their PSWs. My sister is going to be coming with me. She's so sweet. She's taking the day off. You're not allowed to eat or drink anything for 12 hours before your surgery, and water is allowed up to 8 hours before your surgery. Take off all of your jewelry, all your nail polish. You have to wear something loose fitting. You have to wear comfy socks, and you have to wear like sandals or slides or something. You're not allowed to wear Uggs or sneakers. No alcohol, smoking 2 weeks before. Yeah, there's just like a lot of different rules that they give to you. And then 1 week before the surgery, that is when they give you your surgery time. And then I asked a couple questions. I was like, so because I'm doing 2 different sizes, 345 and 300, if he feels that it doesn't look symmetrical, is he going to be able to make that change in the moment? And she was like, yes. The doctor will assess, and if more is needed for better symmetry, then they would alter it. Something that I feel no one has really touched on, just how alone you are in this process and how like independent of a process it really is, because like you kind of have this expectation that you're gonna walk in, it's gonna be like there's so much excitement, everyone's just excited as you to get your new boob job. The doctor's gonna be like, yay, I got a customer, but it's not like that. This is their job, so this is something they're doing all day, every day. You walk in, you tell them what you want, and it's kind of just like no one's following up with you every day. There's nobody calling you like, hey, so your surgery's in 3 weeks, how are you feeling? There's nobody just like holding your hand the whole way, talking you through every step of the way. So I'm gonna show you guys some things that I've ordered for the surgery. This is the number one thing that everyone has been saying that you cannot live without. A neck pillow. This one is memory foam, so it's supposed to be really good. I don't know if it's sturdy enough though. Next up, I know I told you guys earlier that I was really afraid of nausea, so I got these motion sickness patches and you just put them behind your ear. And I'm also going to be getting gravel. I have a list of some things I'm going to be getting. Bio oil, prunes because you've heard the rumors, green juice, Coke because Coke is really good for helping with nausea. Zip bra, I'm not buying that just yet. They're going to be giving me one at the clinic. I'm going to see like what size I need. Antibacterial soap, frozen peas, snacks, pre-packaged meals. I also ordered a large bag because I was originally planning on staying at the hotel that I'm doing the surgery at because I thought the pre-op would be the next day. But I asked the nurse when the post-op appointment would be and she said it's exactly a week later. So that's fine, I can just go straight home. However, I'm still gonna bring this giant fake Louis Vuitton bag with me with all my stuff in it, just in case. I already did buy it. But when I'm actually recording the vlog, I'll show you guys me packing the bag and everything I'm bringing along with me, my OOTD, and all of that fun stuff. But I'm gonna show you guys my medication before I end this video. As you can see here, there is a long list. I was given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different medications. So they give you like a little Narcan kit just in case somebody gets a hold of your medication by accident. A lot of these I actually don't know what they are or what they do just because I just got the bag and I immediately hid it. Let's see what all of these are. Oh, these ones are just like these little tiny dots. What is lorazepam? For anxiety, trouble sleeping, severe agitation, seizures, and chemotherapy-induced nausea and vomiting. Oh, so maybe this helps like nausea? There's only 3 tiny little ones. The next one, ondansetron. I love that Siri can understand what I'm trying to say. This one is used to prevent nausea and vomiting that's caused by cancer medications or radiation therapy. What are these people giving to me? There's only one of these, so I'm assuming it's for after surgery. What is dexamethasone? This one is used to treat rheumatic problems, a number of skin diseases, allergies, asthma, chronic obstructive lung disease, croup, brain swelling, eye pain, following surgery. What is cephalexin? This one is an antibiotic that can treat a number of bacterial infections. So this makes sense, taking an antibiotic after surgery because you have to make sure that everything's healing properly in that. What is celecoxib? A COX-2 inhibitor and nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Okay, so anti-inflammatory. This one, it would definitely be necessary. What is oxycodone? It is a semi-synthetic opioid used medically for treatment of moderate to severe pain. It is highly addictive and is a commonly abused drug. There's a lot of these. It's actually filled to the brim. If it's possible for me to avoid that one, I think I'll avoid it. What is acet/caf/codeine? It contains an opioid pain reliever, codeine, a non-opioid pain reliever, acetaminophen, and caffeine. Caffeine is good. Codeine works in the brain to change how your body feels in response to pain. So those are all of my medications. They say not to use any of them until you get to the office. A couple things I'm going to do to prepare are just clean, like maybe 2 days beforehand. I already did a pre-clean, but I'm going to do another clean. I've already canceled my gym membership for the next 2 months since I won't be able to use it. I also filmed some before videos because I want you guys to see how big of a difference it's going to be from me going from this to like this. I feel like I've tried to give as much details as I possibly can. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you liked it and that it was informative. If you're about to be going through something like this, I know how exciting it is, just the whole planning process, and I'm kind of afraid that like after it's done, I won't have this to look forward to anymore because I haven't been this excited about something in so long. If you're interested in seeing the vlog, which I'm going to start filming in 5 days, and I'm going to film the whole 7-day recovery, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be vlogging as much as possible. Like when they're pushing me out in that wheelchair, I want my sister with the camera out, okay? I want all the details, like right before I fall asleep with anesthesia. So there's going to be a lot of details. I'm going to be getting as much in there as possible so you guys can see a really accurate representation of what's happening. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you learned something, that it was informative, or that it helped you with your decision-making process. Yeah, we're T-minus 5 days away from surgery date. Please subscribe to my channel so when I post my boob job official vlog, you'll be the first one to see it. Bye guys!